Alright, good morning everybody. Brochim Habayim, welcome everybody. I made one video about the basics of Sefiras HaOmer, and so now I want to make a second video about some of the more obscure, perhaps, customs and observances and practices about the time. Now, the whole issue of mourning during the counting of the Omer is a problematic one, because according to Nachmanides, the Ramban, this time of Sefiras HaOmer, which we explained in the previous video, what it is a time of joy. It's like Chol HaMoed. So why would we be mourning? And it's a time of introspection and connection to God and love of God and yearning for greater things in the future. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. Now, before we get into those aspects of the liturgy, which are not very well known, I want to talk about one other aspect of counting the Omer. Many people know that if you don't count at night, you count during the day without a bracha, and as long as you counted before the next night, as long as you counted sometime in the day, then you can continue counting at night with the bracha. I'm not going to explain that much more, but I wanted to extend that to what the Reb Mendele Rimanover said. That Reb Mendele Rimanover said that since it says Sheva Shvasis Tamimis Tiana, that they should be 7 perfect weeks, that the meaning of that should be that we should actually count all day long. It's not just if you forgot to count the night before, you should count in the day, but even you're 100% sure that you counted the night before, you should count again during the day. And so the times that I recommend, and after you count, you say also the Harachman, just that one line, Harachman Yachsalon, avoid the space of English, and so the times when I recommend, just if you notice, there's the liturgy, at least that the Hasidic Jews use for the Sefiras HaOmer, is that there's a L'Shem Yichud before. I know Chabad, they don't say that, but the rest of us, we say that. And then and then there's the bracha and the counting, and then we recite Ana B'Choyach, the prayer of Rabbi Nechoni ben Akane, and that prayer has 49 words, and so each, if you include at the end, meaning it's actually 42 words, and then at the end of the each line of 6, you have the name of the Shem Mem Beis, which connects to one of the spheres and so forth. So these are connected. That the 7th day of each week of each counting, you then go and you count. You have that kavanah of that one of the 7 names of the Shem Mem Beis in the as the kavanah of that day. And then you have Lam Natseach, you have Psalm 67, which we once made an exposition of on this channel, and that without the title has 49 words, and the middle verse has 49 letters, and so each day you have a kavanah of one of the words and also one of the letters of that middle verse, the long verse, which actually I guess would be there's actually 8 verses, but you don't count the first one, so it's I guess the 5th verse, fourth or fifth verse, whatever. Yes, the fifth verse. That you also have a kavanah of one of the letters of that verse. In Hebrew, obviously, is what we're talking about. This number 49. And then, in addition to that, then there's the prayer, the Rebbeinu Shalom prayer that includes the Sefira of that day and the Tikkun of that day. But anyway, in our liturgy, we often say Anu B'choyach and Lamnatseach, particularly Nusach Sfard. Even Nusach Ashkenaz, you have it once, Anu B'choach, but Nusach Sfard and the Sfardi Nusach, you have Anu B'choyach both in the morning and in the afternoon, and some people even by Kriyash Malamita. And then Lamnatseach you have also before Baruch Shamar. And so before you say Anu B'choyach and before you say Lamnatseach, Psalm 67, you should count. That's a good time to count, as well as after you finish davening and even maybe before davening. So before Shachris, and then before Anu B'choyach, then before Lamnatseach, then after davening, it's good to count again. And some people also have the custom that even if by night they say Lav, Omer, and then in the daytime they'll say Ba Omer. Other people have different customs. So this way, but even in the middle of the day, you're not doing anything. But you could say Hayom Achadas Yom Shem Shvu Echad Varbo Yom Omer Achman Yechzol on the voice of you're connecting to that mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer. And so it's kedai, it's worthwhile to do that all throughout Sfira. And halachically speaking, it's even though it's not required to do so, it's more like a Hasidic thing, but it's a good it's a good I'm trying to remember the word, insurance policy to make sure that you're going to count, that if you do forget by Mariv, that you are going to count. You're not going to stop counting with the bracha, right? So that's my advice. It doesn't really, and even you count in English, and also something that's important is that if you don't really understand Hebrew, you have to count in the language you understand. So if you're an English speaker, you should count in English, and Spanish speaker in Spanish, and French speaker in French, and Russian speaker in Russian, or whatever. And even I do understand Hebrew. I still, personally, I count. After I count in Hebrew, I always count in English. And that is something that is appropriate to do. You don't count before the bracha, obviously, and that's why we say yesterday was 10 days. That's before the bracha. But then once you have the bracha already, then you say that after. You should say it in English. Today is 11 days, which are 1 week and 4 days of the Omer. And a lot of people get confused with that. They think like you should never count in English. No, you really almost have to count in English, halachically speaking. All right, I'm going to make a separate video about the next part, though. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you all later.